Hey guys, gotta keep this brief. This is my recap, review, and explanation of American Horror Story Season 8, Episode 10, Apocalypse Then. I'm gonna start with some things that I didn't like, found confusing. I'm gonna explain the timeline, anyone who's confused about that. I'm gonna explain the ending, because I think that's very important, the ending. And I'm glad we did get to see where Emily and Timothy ended up. I thought Joan Collins would be in this episode, but she's Joan Collins. She's on Joan Collins' time. She got stuff to do. She don't care. So yeah, I'm happy that Emily and Timothy were wrapped up. Not so happy with the way that it was done. Sorry I look like trash every time I do one of these. I don't know why. I guess maybe like a depression thing. It's like, oh, I'm in bed doing nothing with my life. What am I going to do? I will make a video for YouTube. Let's begin. So, end of episode 3 until halfway through the finale episode. End of episode 3, Cordelia goes, find our sisters, and then like revives them. And then is exposition, flashbacks, exposition, the story of Michael Langdon, which was, I didn't mind the Warlocks. I did not like the sadness. I didn't care about the robots. I found the Billy Eichner, Evan Peters, bowl cut computer dudes to be so boring. And it's like, why do you want the apocalypse so bad? I mean, it seems dangerous. And like, do you really hate people that much? Do you hate yourself that much? Very confusing. Very confusing. But yeah, and then there was a kind of a confusion for me with the identity spell. So what they do, the identity spell, they just dumped Coco back at her dad's house with all the money, and then Mallory's just like the submissive person. That's so sad. Like, I guess it's funny, but I don't really understand how it serves the story. And does that mean, well, I know Myrtle killed Billy Eichner and Evan Peters, but it does make it kind of weird that Evan Peters came back as like her hairstylist, and then Billy Eichner was there, so that's kind of confusing. How come Billy Eichner is just a human and he could kill all these people and like nothing? Also, where's the consistency with Michael's powers? Because is he dead now? I'm very confused. I'm very confused about that. You shouldn't be able to just like suck your blood back into your body. That's like tank status. It's like, but yeah. But anyway, it's called American Horror Story Apocalypse, but we only got about 30-40 minutes of Apocalypse, which I understand could be a budget thing. It's really, really difficult and expensive to make like an apocalyptic landscape look real and not cost $1 trillion. I also noticed that with the few apocalypse scenes, they used slow-mo, and I think that was to make their footage last longer. They could probably edit it, so they could probably cut other apocalypse stuff that they've shot with that and make the scenes longer. Also, I think it's for when Cordelia sees in slow-mo, it kind of infers that she's having a psychic vision, to give off that kind of psychic vision vibes. So yeah, I really found it hard. Like the Satanist church with that woman, she was kind of funny, but it was more comic relief than anything else. And if you watched my last video, I've met real life Satanists, and even the Church of Satan released a statement about American Horror Story Apocalypse. If anyone looks into Satanism, you'll know that it's really about consent, it's about free will, and it's about, I guess, like chaotic neutrality, if that makes sense. They're actually suing the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina for, like, defamation or whatever. I don't really want to talk about anything else. Like, there's genuinely not much else to talk about. I'm not happy that it is a kind of, well, it was all a dream. Like, that's pretty much, there's no point to everything we've just watched. Like, none of it happened. Past the flashbacks, but who cares? If we're going to go back that far in time and kill Michael, I know Michael looked big then, but in the actual show he was about 8 years old. When he turned 5, he just like grew overnight or whatever. And then he's saying, I'm a child, because even though he looks like Cody Furran, he should be like 8 years old at that point. And then what does that mean? Does that mean for the rest of eternity, like, the witches are going to have to hunt the Antichrist? At least with that Antichrist, he kind of came to them with the warlocks and stuff. Like, would they even know about Michael if the warlocks didn't introduce them? And then she still made Madison and Pray Tell from Post, because I can't remember his name, Billy Porter is his real name in real life, I'm pretty sure, go and investigate for a whole episode, like, to make sure, oh, we're sure this guy's the Antichrist? Okay, let's kill him. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. And the robots were boring. I know I said that, but I was horrifically bored. Especially episode 9, episode 8, the last half hour of those completely, like, stopped listening. So that could have been all me. I really want to keep this under 10 minutes, so I'm going to keep going. The ending. So Emily and Timothy seemed really, really important in the early part of the show. Also that bit where an angel comes to Michael and says God loves you. I thought there'd be more God stuff. Not that I'm like hyped for God, but I thought there'd be more of a duality between like Satan, God. You know, this weird kind of like modern take on Bible wars. Like, that would have been really interesting to me. And instead we just got robots, and like robots that really didn't make any sense at the end of that. Like, you've got AI, cool. Like, what purpose does that serve? You've got Miss Venable, and you've got that Miss Meat guy, who he can just make, and then why, I don't know why he's so mad when he cut that ones off. Rest in peace, Madison. That was not a fair death. She deserved better. She deserved her face. And at the end, and they're just like, oh, Madison will be fine. Oh, let me get into that, actually. So she rolls up, Cordelia knows nothing. Tempus Infinitum works. That means that she's the next Supreme. That means she's already more powerful than Cordelia. Cordelia is psychic. Why couldn't she just, like, be like, look into my brain and see what's happened in the past 6 months? You know? And Myrtle. Rip Myrtle. Oh, I love Myrtle. I love her. Yeah, and she didn't. She's just like, oh. And then it's like, oh, I'm scared. Messing up the future has great implications for the past and the present. It's like, well, it kind of doesn't work like that, but okay. And, I mean, it seems like the Antichrist gonna be the Antichrist. Again, does that mean Emily or what's his face, Timothy, are a ghost? Is one of them a ghost? They just like fell onto each other and started talking about Brazilian children and got pregnant, and a year later Betty Dub's like, I'm not going to shame you. It depends on how old you are, I guess, but I'd have to be with someone longer than a year to decide if I wanted to have babies with them. And then they have this beautiful house. Who just, like, if 3 people in cloaks turned up to your house, there are crows outside, what are you going to do? I'm not going to let them in. Also, I thought episode 6 was pretty much a justification of Constance and, like, how she let the Antichrist happen. Also, why did we get that round 2 with Michael killing the priest? I thought we already been through that. Or did she kind of like cut it off to make her look better? I'm genuinely not sure. Maybe they're aware this timeline's so non-linear for no point that they have to like refresh the audience. But I genuinely thought episode 6 was a justification of Constance, why she is so kind of fucked in the head and why she just has these fucked up children. But that doesn't represent Emily. Even Timothy seems a bit more. Emily seems to have a very strong personality, be very like assured of herself. I would kill that kid. I would kill that kid straight away. I know this is American Horror Story, but where's that nanny's parents? That nanny has a family. You can't just have a dead babysitter in your house. Like, that doesn't work like that. And what if Queenie did go to the Hotel Cortez? She's like, you know what? Actually, I am going to stay in Venice Beach because this random bitch I met 10 seconds ago told me. Like, why don't you just tell Cordelia? And why did we have to have a non-linear timeline? We could have had a time travel timeline that actually didn't mean that everything was all a dream and happened for no reason, and that we watched this whole season for literally no reason. They had a non-linear timeline in Roanoke. I hated it, but at least it made sense because it climaxed at a point where you kind of learn everything at once. This didn't do that. We figured out in episode 8, episode 7 what was going to happen. Like, it's almost kind of stupid that they had to. Also, how come Michael didn't know that they were the girls? Did he look at them and they looked different? Because he met them. Why is Coco involved? She's so weak. What happened to Coco at the fight at the end? I have so many questions. It was a fine. Okay, in conclusion, it was a fine season. I loved seeing the Coven Witches again. I loved having Myrtle back again. But the ending, the last 3 episodes even, it's almost confusing because it's like episode 6 was so good. Even the first 3 episodes, I was really interested. I was getting sick of the bunker now. I wish I went back to the bunker. Also, why were the Warlock's Coven house made into a bunker? They said there were other outposts, but we never ever got to see them. That'd be something that would be really interesting. We'd go to another outpost. Like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Comrade West. Love you. Peace out. A-Town.